confusion, continuity issues, all things the Zelda series is no stranger to. The timeline looks like something I could eat dinner with. And it got to the point where Nintendo themselves said, screw it, the timeline doesn't matter. The series will now be set 10,000 years in the future from now on. The lore of this franchise has slowly become as convoluted as FNAF, and Tears of the Kingdom really isn't doing us any favors in that department, making everything 10 times worse. Today, I'm covering 4 mini-theories I found in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm hoping they may answer some questions about the game in future DLC. Note, this will contain major story spoilers. My first theory is about something that happens at the very start of the game, the Mural. The iconic mural is the object that shows us a snippet of the story and explains everything if you know it, like the tapestry in Breath of the Wild. This mural depicts the rise of Hyrule, the coming of the Zonai, and the Demon King Ganon waging war on Hyrule in an attempt to destroy/seize its land. This is clearly a major part of the game, as was shown in multiple trailers and is the title screen of the game. Despite being such a major story, I'm left wondering, what is its backstory, who made it, and when? When you think about it, there really isn't a good way to know its existence. The main issue is the blocked off bit, which mainly depicts Zelda receiving the Master Sword, and, spoiler alert, she turns into a dragon. This part is complicated, as the mural depicts several major beats of the Zonai history, as revealed by Minoru, with the Zonai descending from the heavens with the 7 secret stones. They, however, died out except for Rauru and Minoru by the events of Tears of the Kingdom, making these two likely the only people to have knowledge about ancient Zonai history. Other than Sonia and maybe Zelda, who both couldn't have made it since one is dead and one is a colossal dragon. Rauru and Minoru were also dead by the time Zelda turns into a dragon, so they couldn't have made it. This leaves 3 possible options. Either the 4 sages made it to honor Rauru and his sacrifice, or the Steward construct made it. Or the third and most likely option, the ancient Hylians, which I didn't know about as I was writing this script. I hesitant to say either of the first 2 options made it, as Mural is only a short walk away from Ganon's imprisoning room. So why would anyone head down to carve a mural, risking reanimating the Demon King? These tunnels were also sealed and kept secret, as not even the royal family at this point knew about it. And the stone slate states that Hyrule Castle was built to protect the seal on Ganon. Sadly, I couldn't locate it, though. The tunnels were only revealed after the calamity, which caused Ganon to reawaken. It seems like we'll never know the true origins of the mural. Actually, I was just recording footage. I found Impa, and she told me about the ancient race that had found the dragon tears and made geoglyphs. This may actually give us the who, but not how. Just speculating. Alright, let's move on to a less serious theory/mystery, the other Zora tribe. This theory revolves around Yona, the new Zora queen, and fiancée of King Sidon. No, I'm not talking about the people who got mad that Sidon married her. This new character plays a very minimal role in the story, only giving you the Zora armor, which links somehow damage between games. What really interests me is her character profile, which tells us that she wasn't in the first game because she was, quote-unquote, a royal Zora from another domain. What other domain? As far as I've seen, there's no mention of this other domain in the game. Not even Yona or Sidon mentions it. There's also no other Zora's domain in Hyrule, so where did she come from? My theory is across the sea east of Hyrule, a group of Zora branched off from our Zora, forming a second domain, but remaining close to the original. We can infer that the 2 domains are close in proximity, as Yona is stated to be Sidon's childhood friend, meaning they must have been able to see each other somewhat often, because you need to see people to make friends with them. I think these 2 islands off in distance east of Zora's domain might be the location of this other domain. That's it. That's all we get for this other domain. So unless the DLC brings in something new, it's likely we aren't going to get much more for this. Now this is an interesting one. Remember how people were talking about how the Wind Waker's Master Sword was fake and could not exist? Well, this theory I came up with says there are two, technically three Master Swords in Tears of the Kingdom. The first Master Sword is the one Link starts with at the start of the game, the one that shatters after an encounter with Ganon. The Decayed Master Sword stays with Link until the end of the Great Sky Islands, where he sends it back in time to Zelda. By the way, major story spoilers ahead. Ready? Zelda turns into a freaking dragon to restore the Master Sword to more than full power after what's likely more than 100,000 years, give or take. The thing is, the Light Dragon can be seen in the distance when you're still on the Great Sky Islands with the Decayed Master Sword. So, theoretically, if you're able to get onto the Light Dragon before you get rid of the Decayed Master Sword, there would theoretically be another Master Sword, assuming this is a closed loop timeline. Actually, there would also be two Master Swords in Breath of the Wild, since the Light Dragon would be somewhere in the sky, likely where the dragons disappear to. We could think the theory ends here, but there could be a third Master Sword. This one doesn't have nearly as much to it, but at the end of a pretty long side quest, the Mother Goddess statue gives you the White Sword of the Sky, which, if you're not familiar with the lore, is the untempered Master Sword from Skyward Sword. This really confuses the lore, since the Master Sword has been tempered since the sword is in the game. So there are three explanations. 1. The Mother Goddess statue made a second Master Sword. 2. Our Master Sword isn't actually Master Sword. Or 3. The most likely one, it is a non-canon reference that we aren't supposed to think too hard about. It's kind of sad that this is the most likely one, but it makes the most sense. So in the end, that means there should be 2.5 Master Swords in Tears of the Kingdom. Also enjoy this footage of the Light Dragon. I spent 20 minutes trying to find the darn thing. Alright, the final theory. Alright, the final theory, and the one from the thumbnail. Are the dragons not actually dragons? Hear me out, okay? There are 3 dragons that roam Hyrule: Farash, Dinral, and Nadra. In the first game, they were mostly unexplained, aside from being otherworldly beings from the sky. They also had a connection to the 3 golden goddesses, Feor, Din, and Nehru. People have speculated that they were reincarnations of the goddesses, or protectors serving them, such as Levias. But I think they were actually Zonai. What I think is that Minoru may have been wrong. There weren't only 7 secret stones. In the memory of Minoru's cancel, she states that if one were to eat a secret stone, they would become an immortal dragon, but they would lose all that made them them. Almost everything here is actually wrong. The demon dragon was killed by the Master Sword, although that may be because the sword was made with the intent of slaying evil, and the Light Dragon gets turned back into Zelda at the end of the game, and she keeps her memories from before. So there are clearly ways around these, limitations. Perhaps there used to be 10 secret stones, but 3 of them got eaten by thieves or power-hungry Zonai, turning them into the dragons. It seems that if a secret stone is consumed, it disappears. I think. The Light Dragon doesn't have one, but the Demon Dragon does. But if it gets destroyed by the Master Sword. I don't know, it's inconsistent, and we don't see Zelda with a secret stone after her transformation back into Zelda. And Ganon's gets destroyed when he gets killed. What matters is that we couldn't recover either of the 2 stones eaten in the game. This would also explain how Minoru knew that eating a secret stone would turn you into a dragon, as it would be, legend to the Zonai. And this would leave us with the current 7 stones that we see in-game. The only issues are the mural from earlier that depicts the Zonai descending from the heavens with 7 stones. but seeing as it was carved after Zelda transforms and all the Zonai are dead, it might not be completely accurate. The only other issue is that you'd think there being originally 10 stones would be a big deal, so knowledge would be eventually passed on to Minoru. This could be explained as turning into a dragon would be remembered more and become folklore, but it's a pretty weak explanation, as 10 godly artifacts seems like it would be important to know. Still, I think this theory holds at least some truth, as how else would have Minoru known about the draconification? But until we get some more concrete explanations, I think this is just going to be a simple theory. Anyway, that will be it for this video. If you want to see more theories or lore details about Tears of the Kingdom, leave a comment down below. A like and sub would also be greatly appreciated. Video frequency should be picking up soon because I have no more school, but there won't be anything for the next week or so. With that said, have an amazing day and see you guys next time. Also, I should have a bunch of Tears of the Kingdom ranking content coming out in the next month. Should be pretty cool. Alright, goodbye. Have a good day.